And welcome back to the Financially Simple Experience. So today, friends, I want to consider something. I want to consider making the transition from a business owner to an employee. Now, whenever I first read that title that our marketing team put together, I was like, no. Have you lost your mind? I do not want to go from being a business owner to an employee. We're going to talk about that. The idea being is that you've just sold your company. And now you're considering having to be an employee, and maybe you're negotiating in the process of selling your company, or you're talking with M&A advisor, a broker, and they're saying, hey, you might have to be an employee and stick around for a little while. And you're like, dude, that doesn't sound cool. I want to talk through that today with you, friends. I've dissected this question because somebody asked me, hey, Justin, what's it like for you going from that of a business owner to now an employee? You see, my own world, I was a business owner for almost 30 years. 30 years of movement in the business owner world, where I started my first business at age 15. Here I am almost 45. That means I have 30 years running the boat, so to speak, the captain of the ship, the pilot of the airplane. I am the grand poobah, the czar. As I tell my wife now, I found you can buy a lordship by buying some land in Scotland. I told her, I said, I want to buy my lordship and you can call me Lord Justin. And she just rolls her eyes like probably you just did. But, we're as a business owner, we are the man. We are the chief. We are the top dog. What's it like to step down from that? What's it like to be an employee? Now, for you, you may have already been an employee in your life. For me, I had never received a W-2. I had never been an employee before, to the age of 44 almost. So let's consider this concept. So the first question is, well, why might you become an employee? You want to sell the business. Why might you stay as an employee after the sale? Perhaps you're making the ultimate sale. That's right, The Ultimate Sale, the first book I wrote. Maybe you're making the ultimate sale. You have many possibilities to negotiate during that time period, but one of the things you might consider is it may be beneficial for you and the new owners for you to remain active within the business. Well, how so, Justin? Well, as you're negotiating back and forth, as a seller, you possibly could receive a higher purchase price or higher total compensation package if you include an earnout in your sales agreement. Now, we've spoken about this in the times past, but let's kind of refresh what an earnout is. An earnout is tying the success of the company in the future to some sort of a payment structure. In other words, you're going to remain as an employee or part of the company, and if your company does better than anticipated, you can make more money. Simple as that. Now, that's oversimplifying it, okay? See, there's a benefit for that. You could benefit by receiving a higher payout that allows you to provide stability or maybe make sure that your legacy, your company stays intact. Can't tell you how many people say, this is my baby. My baby. Wrote my book about it. My baby's ugly. They want to see their baby succeed. In my world, I have a group of clients that were my friends, are my friends. I'd worked with these clients for over a decade. I'd watched their kids be born and grow up, and now they're buying businesses. I've watched them prepare for retirement, and now they're retiring, and so many more things. I want to be a part of that. So for me, it was providing stability and watching the legacy, my dreams for my clients, my friends stay intact. Think about it from the owner's perspective. So the person buying you, they have peace of mind because they know they have a reliable employee on their team that has intimate knowledge of their business. So now they combine those two things in an agreement called an earnout, which is part of the employment agreement many times, sometimes part of the purchase agreement, depending on what state or how your attorney drafts things. But it puts it in place where now the buyer could perhaps win. Not a bad thing sometimes. So what do I mean by that? See, the new owners could perhaps get better tax treatment as part of the earnout. Let's dissect that. Whenever you're negotiating the sale of your company, there's a purchase price. And in that purchase price, you believe it's worth something and the buyer believes it's worth something. And the two of you are going back and forth through negotiations. And enters in this concept of an earnout. Hey, well, okay, you think it's worth that. We're willing to agree with you on that. And we're going to give you this much time for you to prove it's worth that. Depending on the structure, many times they'll structure an earnout as part of compensation versus part of the purchase price. If it's part of compensation, it gets treated as an immediate deduction as part of actually wages. Versus if it's part of the capital purchase, which would be which would be capitalized or amortized through the tax return. So for the buyer of the company, an earnout could be a benefit for them. Now, for you as a seller, it may be a little bit more taxes. It may provide some stability. It could be a lot of things depending on how you negotiate. You may want to stay around for none other than because you think the business is going to do better than what the buyer is giving you credit for. And thus now you're faced with the opportunity of becoming an employee. So then I go to the question, can you handle it? Can you handle it? Can you be an employee? I started my first business when I was 15. Been a business owner ever since. For the last 30 years, I've launched, I've grown, I've sold 6 different businesses. Friend, that's a long time. That's a long time to sit at the business owner seat. Because of this, I thought I will always be a business owner. In fact, if I'm being completely authentic and transparent, I have a real disdain for the idea of being an employee. I can remember sitting there at the kitchen table with Emily saying, but they want me to become an employee. Forget this. I'm not going to do that. And her saying, calm down, Justin. It wasn't that I'm better. That's not my heart. I hope you know that. It wasn't that I'm better than employees. That's not it. It was I was trained to be a business owner. I was trained to be the top dog. I was trained to be, let's put it in a sporting analogy, I was trained to be the pitcher. I knew how to throw the fastball, the slider, the curveball. I knew how to strike out the players. And now, you want me to be the catcher? You want me to try to figure out how to catch these things that I'm throwing? No, that's not who I am. I've had the honor and privilege of working with some of the most extraordinarily talented people in my career. People who come alongside me in that employment position. I'm like, wow, they are so gifted. They are so talented. Their heart is so pure. So friends, it's not that I think I'm better. I thought I was better. It was, I wasn't trained for this. I was trained to be a business owner. I'm going to be a business owner till the day I die. It's kind of like living in the South where you say, I'm going to drink sweet tea till the day I'm dying. I will never have any of that unsweetened tea until you have a health issue. You're like, daggone it, I got to drink some unsweetened tea now. So to me, it was, I'm not prepared for this. And so as I sat down, I remember people telling me, Justin, you'll never, ever, ever be an employee. You're always going to be a business owner. No one could ever work with you. You would go crazy in the corporate environment. Here's what I've learned. You can handle whatever you desire to handle. If you think you can or think you can't, you're right. It's that easy. For me, transitioning from that of a business owner to that of an employee was different, but it wasn't bad. There's a few things that I picked up. It's really amazing what I was able to pick up. First of all, I didn't have to make all the decisions on my own anymore. Let's be completely honest. How many times have you laid awake at night wondering, what if? What if that customer leaves? What if my team member resigns tomorrow? What if? I had this one client said, Justin, I'm always concerned that somebody's going to get hit on the road. He worked in a road construction system. He goes, I'm always concerned that the next phone call that's going to happen is going to be one of my employees got killed at work. You have a circumstance that's your what if. What if regulations change? What if taxes change? What if the revenues drop? Whatever your what if is, you have one. Friends, whenever I stepped in this employee position, I still have those same things. But now as I look across my channel, my layer, there are other people at my level in the company, at the executive level, which is where I serve, that are thinking the same thing. They're asking the same questions, the same what if. So instead of me relinquishing control and having no authority, what I found myself in is a desire to think. I'm now sitting at the same level with my colleagues who are thinking the same thing with their life history and all their knowledge and understanding. I'm not up at night. That has been amazing. I remember my mom saying for years, son, a peace of mind's worth $1 million. Friends, I have slept some really good sleep this last year. Nights when things used to keep me up it's not there anymore. Another benefit that I've experienced personally that you might want to consider as you're making your decision is you're no longer isolated. You know, I'll make this statement and I firmly believe with all my being. No one understands a business owner like another business owner. There are things that we're plagued with in our minds. There are things, the way we think. There are challenges that we face that if you're over Thanksgiving dinner trying to talk to your cousin or your uncle about it, they don't get it unless they've ever sat in that business owner role. Now I'm no longer isolated. I'm sitting at the top here with the executive team and we're thinking the same. We're challenging the same. I feel like I'm part of a team versus now just the guy up front trying to get a team to go. I actually have the ability to go out and make the plays now. I get the ability to, rather just sitting on the sideline calling the plays and telling our team what to do, I can now be a part of that, whereas before I couldn't. Let's think about another thing. As you step into the employee role, oftentimes you relinquish liability. That's right. As a business owner, you carry a heavy liability. Most of your net worth is tied up in the business. Most of your net worth is tied up to one poor decision, one bad decision, that risk. That's like, how am I going to deal with this? I remember sitting down with a business owner one time, and he said, Justin, once this risk is gone, I can be more risky. Think about that. Once this risk is gone, I can be more risky. He was a business owner who had a $15 million liability that he personally could bankrupt his family of his liability. And what he was able to say is, I can't move the way I want to move because I'm constrained by my fear. That's what he was saying, because of the personal liability. So I'm going to recap this. Can you go from being a business owner to an employee? Look, if this country boy from Tennessee who lives on a gravel road on the Tennessee River can go from being a business owner after almost 30 years to an employee, you can. If you think you can or think you can't, you're correct. So what do you do? What do you do if you find yourself facing a transition and you're being offered a position to move from an owner to an employee? What do you do? One of the best things you can do is seek counsel. Surround yourself with an advisory team. Speak with others who've gone through a transition before. Talk to someone like me who's gone from a transition of an owner to that of an employee. Listen to your legal team, your tax team. Of course, they have your best interests in mind, but now it's time to come alongside of the emotions that you're going to go through. It is challenging. It is challenging to make this move. I'm now almost a year in the position, friends, of going from a business owner to an employee. The first 5 or 6 months, it was a deep burn. Like, did I mess up? Am I in the right position? Am I wasting my talent? Had many other companies call and offer me the CEO position. Several companies come alongside and they say, hey, Justin, we want you to be the CEO. Throwing all sorts of ludicrous money at me. And it's like, I don't know if I want that right now. We'll give you equity in the company. We know you like being an owner. I don't know if I want that right now. And here I am now, a year into this position almost, as an employee on a company, no longer sitting at the top of the org chart, and finding myself at peace. Finding myself in a position where I'm resting. I'm spending time with my family. My liability worries are gone. So let me challenge you. Maybe you're negotiating right now the sale of your company. Maybe you're even pondering like I was. I'll never sell my company until I retire because I cannot be an employee. I literally said that. Friends, from somebody who's a business owner for 30 years, it's not that bad. There are benefits. There are some challenges. There's some different things, but it's not that bad. There's many benefits. So, Justin, are you saying you'll never be a business owner again? At this point in time, friends, I'm pretty content where I'm at. Maybe I need to heal. Maybe my body needs to heal from 30 years of taking the licks that I took, all the punches and getting up off the ground. Well, yet again, dusting yourself off and driving forward. I don't know. I don't know what the future holds, but I can tell you at this point, if you think you can or think you can't, you're correct. Friends, you can go from being a business owner to an employee. It is possible, and it can be rewarding. I am having the time of my life, and I look forward to the future. Look, if you have questions, if you need help, if you're trying to figure out how to move from where you are today financially to where you desire to be, and you want a team of experts who can come alongside you and help you, we have subject matter experts within our organization that can. Reach out to us. We're here to help. I realize life is hard. I realize this making decisions like I've made and like you may be contemplating are hard to make. They don't have to be. Let's continue to make our lives at least financially simple. Hey, y'all, make it a great one.